Hey folks, welcome back to the Portable Gamer, welcome back to Farming Simulator 17, and welcome back to the Western Shore. It is the second day of winter, and we've got 3 tasks today. We're getting our field containers full, and we're doing that down here. Let me pop this back open and show you what we got for volume. This thing had 360,000 liters in it. We are slowly emptying it out. I'm not getting a volume. We might be on the wrong side. There we go. 271,000 liters of digestate left in there. If we play our cards right, we will not need to buy any fertilizer this year. And it does get expensive. We'll need to have other equipment to apply digestate and slurry and hard manure. And there will be leasing costs for those. But I feel like if we play our cards right, we can save enough on chemical fertilizer that we'll have a net gain, a net savings. I think we can do that. So I'm getting these 2 containers full. That's going to be one of our tasks today. The other thing we're going to do is put the T-dub to work converting our second grass field. We're going to convert 2 grass fields. One of them is done, and we're going to convert the other one, or start converting the other one today. We're just going to plow under the grass with a Lemken plow. And the third task will be to take another load of hard manure out to one of our new fields that we just bought, our arable fields. And I had some thoughts on the logistics of that as far as where we would want to take our hard manure carefully. I am on a new gamepad. If you're only following the FS17 series, you're not following the FS19. In an FS19 video, I did admit reluctantly that I had to go with a temporary old gamepad that I found back in the back of a closet. And it is really, it's rough. There's a reason I bought a high dollar gamepad, and it's because of this one. So I could definitely feel the difference. If you see me kind of bouncing all over the road and struggling, that's why. This thing has it's got no touch. It's got no hand feel. But you know what? If that's the biggest problem that I have today, I'll take it. With all the things that are going on in the world, I'm sure a lot of people would much rather have those kinds of problems than what they're dealing with. So we'll just get through it. Right, so we're through there, and we got one last big turn to make. Now, I did notice that the 2 grass fields that I guess are sort of on the corners, or what I think of as on the corners of this little lane, those 2 fields you can really only get into from one direction. If you can't make the full turn, you can make the turn if you are just a tractor with no trailer, nothing on the back of it, and I guess if you were just the truck, just the lorry part of this rig that we have here, you could get through there. But if you've got anything, if you're pulling anything, if you've got anything hooked up, it's really kind of a pain in the ass to make the big turn. So I've been backing in. And I'll show that to you right here. So it's this gate. Set the brake here. It's this gate, and then the next one down the lane toward the farm, that is sort of the opposite number to this. So we will back in. I found that that's easier. I mean, you can't make the turn, so you have to back in, or you can come at it from the other end. You can come up from the Bramble Lane farm side, but we'll back in just to keep things interesting. So we come around here, and I'm also doing my best when I'm on these little lanes to keep as many tires as possible on the tarmac. Sometimes you need to kind of swing wide. Steering axle, help me out. Help me out. There it goes. You do sometimes have to swing wide, and if you don't swing wide, then you'll hook the inside wheels of the trailer through the gravel, through the mud anyway. But I try to split the difference and swing the truck as wide as possible out to the edge of the pavement in one direction, so that the wheels hook in as little as possible in the other direction. If that makes sense. Yeah. So I've been trying to not widen the lanes out. And I know driving in the mud will do that, and then it collects water, and then you get drainage problems. Oh yeah, I've been reading about this stuff. I've been studying. All right, so this has 30,000 liters in it. We'll put another 25,000 in it. Yeah, because they hold 55,000. And I'm going to pull up as close to it as possible, and you can see, yep, it's already shimmy shaking from when I just came into the save game a few minutes ago down at the VGA. Yeah. Farm sim physics, what can you do? It did that earlier, so we want to do that. Nope. Yep. Nope. Is it going in? Okay, it is going in. It looked like it was transferring it back into our tanker, and I wasn't sure how that was possible if our tanker was already full. So it did this last time I filled it. It started shimmy shaking all over the field, and what I did, it's not very immersive, but what I did is after I filled it, I just took the truck around and came into it perpendicular and just pushed it back to the fence. You know, it could be because we are running more realistic, and that messes with the physics of virtually every in-game item, every base game item. It could be that we don't have it on pavement, we don't have it someplace flat, but I mean, it is a field container, so it would make sense that you would, from time to time, have it in a field. Fields are mud, right? Grass, crops of various types. So the idea that we don't have it on pavement, and that's why it's moving around, I don't know. It's also not on a perfectly flat surface, but we got it on a fairly, you know, we tried to get as big a contact patch as possible. So I don't know the reason why it's bouncing around like that, but it's certainly distracting. And we will, when we're done filling it, we'll press it up against the fence as tightly as we can. But I have a feeling when I start our next save game, same thing will happen. By the time we get back up here, it'll be, you know what I'm saying? Bouncing all over the field. Farm sim. I love you. All right. So we will come around here. And at least I'm going to remember it this time. I'm going to remember that because we have overlapping controls and our gamepad command for... There we go. Our gamepad command for shuttle and our gamepad command for move product in and out of a tanker, that sort of thing, because it's the same command. If I pulled up here and moved this thing... Oh, and of course now it's too full to move. Oh, game. Alright. Things are going from bad to worse here. I would want to drop this trailer before I pulled up there in case, as we got up there... Whoa, too far. If we moved the thing, then when we were ready to back up, right, if I used the shuttle, it would begin transferring digestate from the field tank back into our tanker, and we don't want that to happen. So, alright, we're getting through it. We're getting through it. And we're going to pull through this gate. That field tank is full now, so we can go ahead and close this gate. So we'll come right up here. Brakes on. And carefully turn around here. There we go. Close this gate. And we'll get down to our other field. I had a thought as well about... it was $14,000 to lease this truck. It was $4,000 for the trailer. And we're going to need to... So our other field tank right now is $30,000 in it. We're going to put another $3,000 in it, which means it will have about $20,000 left to go to fill it. This tanker that's on our truck right now holds $30,000, so we'll need to go back and, you know what I mean, we'll fill it again. Oh, there goes my voice. Moment, please. I'm going to do two things. I'm going to open this gate, and I'm going to have some coffee. Beautiful. What was I talking about? Right. So, to get as much digestate up to the farm as possible, I was thinking after we bring this tanker back up here and get this other field tank topped off, then let's go fill it up one more time, bring the tanker back to the farm. Interesting. Okay, started overloading as soon as we pulled up next to it. I didn't even have to give it a command. Things you learn. Right, so next trip, or after we get these field tanks topped off, I'm going to bring this tank back up to the farm. I'm going to drop it, return the truck so we're not paying any more rental fees on this, and just leave this parked in the field. The rental fee per day will be, you know, it'll be something, but we'll have another 30,000 liters of digestate up on the farm ready to go. Might not be the best... It might not make the most economic sense, I guess, is another way to put it. And we probably should have waited until closer till we were ready to apply that Digestate before we brought it up here, but whatever. You know, we got to do things to keep the videos moving, so I figured that was a good task. So next is T-Dub, and that is across the highway. Right out there in front of us is one of the fields that we converted. That used to be a grass field. It's going to be arable, and I think, I mean, I guess we'll just go canola in all of these fields. It's a good cash crop. We can split it up a little bit so that we've got, because we'll have 6 arable fields. Now we can do 3 canola, 3 soybeans, but I always want to put in some kind of a winter crop, and that's typically canola because we don't need wheat. So, I don't know. We'll figure it out in the spring. Now, course play. And this is field 5-1, right? So we're going to do field work. Field 5-1. Automatic width. That's good. Starting location, I say right here. Starting direction. Headlands, yes, this thing's fairly narrow, so let's go 3 headlands. We'll do our lengths first. Bypass islands. Let's see what we get. Didn't actually bypass the islands. We've really only got 1 power pole, maybe 2. So hopefully we'll be okay. Where's our starting point? It is right over there in the far corner by the road. Okay. Well, let's see how it goes. Yeah, we've really only got this 1 power pole here. And we can even take a look and see. We go here. I mean, it sort of splits it, right in the middle. I don't know if the pass on the left, right, to our left from this perspective, I don't know if that pass on the left side is going to hook it, because it looks like it really is centered, just dead center between them. We will find out. All right. Right over here, and we'll check a couple more things and then get this started. Right about there. All right, and I am holding the brake, but we are slowly bouncing and drifting backwards. Who knows why? All right, we want speeds. Slow those down a little bit. All right. We're not going to be out on the street, but I'll slow this down just the same. Drive control. Let's go. 4-wheel drive and diffs are locked for field work. And I think first waypoint. Brake is off. Here we go. All right. So that is task number 2. Where are we at on time? 13 minutes. All right. And then our last job of the day is going to be to take another load of hard manure out to one of our new arable fields. So here is my thought on that. Initially, I was thinking, let's take it up here to the top of this field over here that we converted. But as close as this field is to where we keep our manure, where we dump it when we clean out our stables. That's not a stable, that is a shed. Sorry, stables are for horses. Right, this field here. It's right across the highway. If we need to refill our manure spreader, we don't have to go very far. Wouldn't it make more sense to take the hard manure that we're going to dump in fields to use in the spring, to take it as far from the farm as possible to save a trip for the manure spreader in the spring, right? And save it going back and forth. I think that makes more sense. I think it does. So we're going to take it out to the farthest field that we bought, which is out toward the train tracks beyond the pig farm. So that will be, I think, yep, that's the last thing we've got on our list for today. So we'll hop in the JCB. And that looks like that's moving too. Is it shimmying around? Oh, more realistic. All right, so we'll come through here carefully. All right. There we are. And I did buy, well, let me show it to you before we get out on the highway. I did buy, yeah, that is definitely moving on its own. I bought, so last episode we bought field 5-5, and off camera I bought field 6-2, which is the next one down toward the train tracks, and I bought field 6-4, which is the next one down on this little cutoff lane that we use. So I think, yeah, that gives us, for next spring, that gives us 6 arable, 5 grass. So our grass yield should be about 500,000 liters per cut, carefully. About 500,000 liters per cut, and I don't really know what to expect for profit for our arable fields, but we were getting about 200,000 pounds per grass cut. So a total of 600,000 for the year. We lost about 20% of our, about 20% of our grass fields. So take that down to, what would that be, 450? About 450,000 revenue for grass and silage next year. So I think we're going to be okay, and then we'll just have to see what we make from arable crops. But the two put together, I mean, we still have 72,000 from this year, and we're selling about 7,000 a day of milk. So we've got no money problems as far as making it through till spring. We already bought our fields. We're going to spend a lot less on fertilizer next year. I think we're going to be okay financially. And the next test, the next question is going to be, how are we going to do on time now that we have more arable fields? And we know our grass fields certainly take a decent amount of time for us. Let's just confirm that this is the field we bought. 6-2 it is, and let's go up to the highest point, which is right back here. Yeah, this makes sense, does it not? Rather than driving our manure spreader from here back to the farm to refill it, we'll just take it up to the top of the hill, and for the new arable fields across the lane from the farm, if we need to refill them, we can just go to the farm. I think that makes the most sense. I don't know if you would do that in real life. We will very, very slowly, very stately, gradually get up this hill, dump this, and we'll call it. Yeah. Nice sky. That's all. Golly. Yeah, that's all from the Sky Swap mod. I assume it is. And then there on the other side of that little cutoff, that's the other field that we bought. Right. So let's get this back here in the corner. Right about here. Yeah. And dump it there. I think I have been spending a lot of time on the more realistic database, and I've been converting over absolutely everything we own that I can find an XML for. But for some reason, I think this Smith trailer did not have an MR XML. So I think that may be why it's moving sideways. But in fairness, the fuel tanks that we're using are base game, and they are definitely converted. So who's to say? Who's to say? Set the brake here. Yep. And I think that's us done. There you have it, folks. Thanks for stopping back to check out the Portable Gamer. Thanks for joining us for another episode of Farming Simulator 17. This is the Western Shore. We'll see you next time. Take care now.